to a woman in Austin, Texas, I believe. So this is the first of these shield laws that'll be tested in court. Now, in the age of Zoom and telemedicine, Chad, can one state dictate to another how what their policy should be?
So I'm going to look for legal precedent, and I'm going to be way off track, I'm sure, in thinking about this. But I was thinking about 2005's.
Thanks. Yeah.
Just start talking, Hogan, because we got to start the meeting.
People can hear me.
First Amendment gives states
Is Brian here? Oh, it's working now. It's not working.
My mine isn't.
Here, you can use this one. It's okay. We'll share.
Okay. Okay, we're going to start our meeting here, our study session. Our first item of business is local hotel motel occupancy tax. That is you, Councilor Williams? That's already right.
Yep, that should be ready, Counselor.
Okay. There's Commissioner Deeds. There'll be some Commissioner Deeds, or will there be at all? City Clerk. City Clerk will have Commissioner Deeds.
We'll know Monday.
Okay. Councilor Caldwell.
Thank you, Councilor Pro-Tem Hogan. Blessings to all today. I have items 10 through 14. And Ms. Byrd, Commissioner Byrd.
So we could bring it out more. It's easier to transport. The old bandwagon, the larger one, price would increase. The smaller one would take the price of the old bandwagon.
So say that again. So you're going to increase one and decrease the other? Is that what you said?
Well, it's a smaller one, so it should be a lower fee than the large bandwagon that requires a CDL.
Commissioner, do you know what the fee is?
Councilor Caldwell, she answered, she's not going to increase
No.
one and decrease the other one. Yeah.
You're not.
No.
So what is the fee right now?
I have it in my hand. Oh, this is chicken. I'm gonna call Anthony. Come on, cause this I can't read your writing. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's in the. So this is.
And really, Commissioner Byrd, just why are you going up so much?
So we're raising the price of the current bandwagon that we have right now that's already out there in use in the community by $50, which basically covers the increase of labor and cost of delivery. Most of these events are happening outside of regular business hours too, so they require overtime, labor, and essentially additional staff members to load it up, set it up at the event, and make sure it's safe for use. They do require leveling and a bunch of other safety security stuff that has to be done every time they're set up just to make sure they're safe for anybody to use.
So it just reflects the cost for us, right?
So what is the fee or the charge going to be is it per day?
It's per day of the event that is used. So we're currently, right now, per hour. Do you have the other paper? The one that we typed.
Not per day, per hour.
Yeah, per day.
Per day.
Oh, per day. So originally it's now $50 per day before the swap.
No, it's actually higher than that. I'm looking at my numbers.
Can you all look at 10, the letter that came with 10? All those fees are on there. And the small ones doesn't have a fee right now, and they're creating a fee for the small one.
Yeah, the small unit we received last year, so we haven't had a chance to activate it yet for use by the community, but we're now trying to make sure we get it online and available for all the festivals that need it for their events, including all the smaller ones as well. We've seen an increased demand in the bandwagon where we've had to actually deny requests for it because we previously only had one available. Now that we have two, we want to make sure people are able to book it and use it for their big events.
Now, is there a limit to, when a person rents it, is there a limit to a number of hours per a day, or is that just a day rental?
It's a daily rate right
Okay.
now. So
Okay, just
a lot
whole
of
day.
Yep, correct, for the full day. So a good example would be the Northside Festival, which took place on North Salina Street. They did a one-day rental. It was delivered that morning for their event before it began, and picked up at the end by one of our crews at the Parks Department.
The North Side's been a good example for a lot of things, right, Councilor? Now
Refugee Day too.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Byrd, 11.
American Trails, we want to apply for a grant of $10,000, not to exceed $10,000, to be used for seasonal trail stewards, training and maintenance along the city trails.
Any questions? Number 12, please.
12 is also an application and agreement, to and with Bloomingdale, for the amount of $100,000 for Asphalt Art Initiative, to do art around and design, around the 300 block of East Taylor. So Children's Rising Center as part of the new East Adams neighborhood.
Any questions? Item 13.
13 is a license agreement with the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. This allows us to play copyrighted music at park facilities for the year.
Okay, any questions? Item 14.
14th is a license agreement with the Society of European Stage Authors and Composers to be able to play, again, music, and the first one also is movies in the park. So it's copyrighted material that we could use throughout the year.
Awesome. Any other questions? Thank you, Commissioner Byrd. We're
Thank
all
you,
set.
Commissioner. Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Majuk.
Thank you, Pro Tem. I have items 15 to 23.
Yes, Chief.
So the chief is gonna do this himself, huh? This gotta be good.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Mons, the fire chief. Number 15, I'm asking your permission to go into an agreement to renew a contract we have with our company that does the ambulance billing services for us. They handle all the paperwork. They are working directly with finance in our department, and they get reimbursed based off however much money we earn on these calls. So that's 15.
So I had a question, Chief. So there is $75,000, and then when you read inside, there's also a 9%.
No, so the $75,000 is the ceiling that we should be spending per year. The 9% is, for example, if we bill somebody for $100, the 9% is what we pay them for processing and handling all the paperwork that we don't have to touch. So for every $100, they get $9. They get 9% on all the reimbursement fee. The most we'll do all these transactions back and forth with reimbursements are $75,000.
Estimated to be
so that's the most we should be spending. And if it goes over that, we'd come back and ask for an amendment to go up if we had that much billing going on. Yes.
Okay.
So are you okay with number?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
16 and 17 is our yearly authorization to buy an aerial ladder truck. And 18 and 19 is our legislation to buy 2 fire engines. Does anybody have any questions on those?
So for these, right, what station are we replacing for this?
There's no station. Citywide, we replace the fire trucks that have the most miles, that get used the most. So they start at one station, usually the busiest of stations, and by the time they are at the end of their life, they're at maybe one of the slowest places, and these replaced, they always go to one of the busiest firehouses.
Will there be, so as this come in, and you said before, it take about a year, right? About a year for them
right
to make
now
it
we're
18?
For 16 and 17, that particular fire truck is going to be 36 months. 18 and 19 is going to be almost, well, forgive me, 16 and 17 is almost 48 months. 18 and 19 is going to be 36 months. That's a supply chain issue.
Would you send us what the truck that would be eligible when
Yeah,
that are aging?
Yes, sir. I'll email all that to you.
I know you gave a few of the counselors called me about a 25, 26 item, but that's the reason why they go on early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
We remember talking about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'll send you all the information,
Yeah,
and then
that would
whatever
be good.
questions you have, I'll answer them through email, or you can call me, whatever the best way for anybody.
And these are both bond issuances? and
They're both bonded, yes.
I think we want to be cognizant, Councilor Williams, on our bonding, as we almost enter the budget season. Right, Commissioner Canizero? You'll give us a report on that at one point, okay?
Chief, how
Yes.
often do you inspect your apparatus? Do you do evaluations?
So we have a preventive maintenance program that our maintenance division over at 312 State Fair Boulevard, they're always inspecting our fire trucks. The firefighters every day are checking their trucks. We have an overall apparatus replacement program where every year we're trying to buy 2 engines and a ladder truck, and every other year, so we can always have the fire trucks to meet the end of the life cycle and make sure that we have apparatus in the neighborhoods that can respond to calls.
Okay. Do you think there's something maybe in a year that you might have to come back to the council?
So every year we, per our apparatus program, every year we'll be coming back to buy fire trucks to replace ones that come to the end of the life. So as we buy these, there's going to be trucks that fall off, and it's a constant cycle with our department.
And when these trucks are no longer in service, what happens to these trucks?
They spend 10 years on the front line in the firehouses. Then they turn into like spare apparatus when we have to do preventive maintenance or there's an accident. They turn into a spare, and then they go into the front line as a spare until their front line gets back and gets fixed. After that, they go to auction.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Anybody else have any questions?
No, go to item 20, right? Item 20. The rest are authorization and bonding. It's the same.
Oh, item 20 is not my item.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not?
That's-
Okay,
Oh,
thank
yes.
you. Thank you. That's police.
Yes,
Now,
yes, sir.
just really quick. I was driving down Genesee Street today, and I saw your team snowblowing. You guys don't have a fire truck?
No, they out in front they have snow blowers and shovels.
Okay.
Yes.
Chief, and it's a continuing investigation regarding the tragedy. that
Yes,
happened.
I know we spoke SAS. There's an investigation still ongoing, and when the investigation is complete, we would be able to speak about all the details that are being looked into and reviewed right now.
Okay, we appreciate your work on that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions by anybody?
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you all.
Police? Who's?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm looking around, I see some familiar faces. For those I don't know, counselors, thank you. My name's Tom Blake. I'm employed by the Syracuse Police Department, where I work as a sergeant. I'm also part of the public relations team over there as well. I'm here seeking the approval of an agreement with Sydney Irving Music, LLC. Reason why we're looking for that is she is providing service to us by singing the national anthem primarily at various events that we've had, mostly to include academy graduations and various events that we have for the city. So she has done this in the past as a volunteer basis whenever we didn't have somebody available to do that. We believe her to be a great value and a great asset, so we're seeking to be able to compensate her. Miss Irving lives a great distance away. She's always willing to come out and handle these events for us. She's been great in the past, and traditionally we relied on police officers to come out and perform the national anthem for us at these various events. With staffing the way it's been, sometimes it's difficult for folks to come out and do that, so we need a backup. Reached out to Sydney Irving and asked her if she'd be willing to do it. She's done 3 events for us since that time. I have not had her come in and perform and then not been approached by at least a few people telling me how great of a performance that truly was. I would add that a quick search of Sydney Irving into Google, you'll see what a value she offers, and she offers it at a discount from what we would be paying a police officer to come in and do it. So traditionally speaking, when a police officer comes down and performs a national anthem, they are given a 4-hour overtime slip for that. Miss Irving is doing that for considerably less than what we'd be paying a police officer for. And again, it's a valuable product. If you've been to the Christmas tree lighting in the last 2 years, you've probably heard of her. She has stared the stage with many national acts. The list is endless. Again, I would ask you to research on your own. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. She is with us today. If you have any questions directly for her, she'd be happy to come up as well. And if you want, she can come up here and sing the national anthem, and I think probably all the questions will be answered, but however you see fit on that. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this.
What is a great distance away? Is she not a city resident?
She's not a city resident. She lives south of Marcellus. Her family does have a business in the city, though.
Was there any search for anyone within the city?
I'm sorry, search with anybody in the city?
Yeah.
We have, again, traditionally when we can't find somebody, certainly we reach out to folks that fulfill other capacities for the department and ask them if they'd be willing to do it. It just, more now than ever, it's difficult to find folks to come in and do this, especially, if you've got a day or two to get ready for an event, trying to search around somebody for last minute certainly is not effective, right? And so having somebody who's ready, willing, and able to come in and perform a valuable service such as she will, it's a huge asset to us, and I believe at a nominal cost for the level of professionalism and talent she brings to the table.
Any other questions?
No.
Can I just also maybe add that for our kids that are in the PSLA, is there a way they could also maybe, shadow or sometime be included in something like that? Because I know some of them are great singers.
Absolutely. I think, again, and I don't mean to say that she's going to be the sole person doing the national anthem. This is just somebody that when we have an event, we can reach out to. There's room for everybody here. It's not. She's not going to be. It's not going to be the Sydney Irving show every time we have an event. But to have somebody who is of her talent and caliber that's going to come in and do this. Not to say. I mean, again, more than happy to reach out to anybody else that's willing to do it. But to have somebody, if some of these events, they come short notice, we need to get this stuff together. This is a vital component of one of these ceremonies. And so we just want somebody that is in that line of work, that's doing it regularly, and ready, willing, able to come in and meet that need.
Sergeant, you should be a Broadway agent.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You are really, I'll tell you. I guess.
That's good. That's good. Are you going to take item 201, I think, without other questions?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
You're going to take 201 too, sir?
Great. If you have anything for Miss Irving, she's here again. If not, I will.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
I will stop talking.
I would like
Thank
to
you
say
very
this.
much.
Thank you. I'm not sure. Is she here? Let me see.
Yes, Cindy, stand up, Cindy.
This is Sydney Irving, right?
Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you. We would have you sing, but we're crunching on time. But
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear you as these events goes on and what have you. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you, counselors.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Deputy Chief Julie Schultzke of the Syracuse Police Department. I do use less words than Sergeant Blake, I promise. I'm here for number 21 and 22, an agreement with Dr. Norman Leswig to provide psychological services for the Syracuse Police Department. And these services will be used for the purpose of evaluating members in the department on an ad-needed basis. We've been working with Dr. Leswig for many years now, and he's been providing the service, so it's just we'd like to continue to use his services. Any questions on that one?
I think if you can just, because I think every counselor here is, concerned and want to help in any way to make sure that officers' health is at its best.
Mm-hmm.
So just if there's a summary of updates of, just you don't have to, I guess you can not do the numbers, but just summarize how many have taken advantage or at least how many have worked with Dr. Norman. That would be great.
I could give you the numbers of people that we've sent for evaluations there, but we actually work with Dr. Rebecca Bernard for the voluntary psychological services and officer wellness stuff. So I could get you those numbers. I think they'd be more beneficial.
Okay. Just for our reference, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for number 22, Jimmy Oliver would like to have an agreement with Shanae Bradley with Light to the Darkness Photography to provide services for our Police Athletic League events.
I saw the schedule in the appendix, and it's good. Any questions? All right.
All right, thank you, Council.
Thank you. Item 23, we will continue to hold that. No, never mind. Item 23 is an appointment for CRB Board. I want to thank Councilor Peniawa for helping us. This is an appointment for all our large councilors. So, any questions? All right.
One. Yeah. Okay. No, 24, Councilor Jacques.
And then 24, we will hold that as well. And that will be it.
Councilor Gathers.
Will be myself and yourself to amend the ordinance about the recycle card program with the fines. We will be having a committee meeting on this next week as well to discuss further issues with this and also get an update on how the recycle and trash services have been going thus far since we've changed operations. If there's no questions, any questions on that? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to item 26 through 32. We'll start with item 26. I believe Commissioner Fordock will be coming forward.
Hello, Ann Fordock, First Deputy Commissioner of DPW. So 26 is with 5-star equipment, and it's an increase of the 130 to the account. And it's not to exceed the 230,000. It is equipment. Do you want more details on what 5-star does?
Any questions on item 26? Any information required for 5-star?
Tell us what they do. Okay. Now, do they have anything to do with our trash cards, the recyclable bins?
No, these
Nothing
are
to do-
no. These are just big loaders. Rear wheel loaders, I believe,
Okay.
is the specific term. But we have 6 loaders, and so 5-star is the John Deere dealership, and John Deere is who we buy the loaders from, and we have to maintain and repair them. And we just went over on that number for repairs.
Okay.
What or what's start? It's $100,000 more.
I wouldn't say it was weather or snow related. I'm not sure if Jeff is our new, you all know Rich DeVesti, our amazing fleet manager.
Yes.
And so Rich DeVesti is going to be retiring this year. And I'm not sure if
I don't think we can allow that, can we?
And so learning from him is Jeff Fergola. And so introductions to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
And Rich is, I think, on vacation or something like that. His pre-retirement vacation is kicking in. So Jeff is here. I'm not sure what kind of light you can shed on all 6 pieces of equipment and what's been repaired on them this year. We don't need to go into probably terrible
I'm
detail.
just wondering,
but-
it's an extra $100,000, and is it because the costs are higher or what? Basically, that's it, or what?
Yeah, it's part of an aging equipment plus cost of repairs are getting higher.
Right up.
Yeah, it's part of cost of repairs are getting higher plus aging equipment. So we're working on replacing the ones that need, but with their age, more things are starting to go wrong kind of quicker, so.
Okay, so, I mean, that's understandable.
It's just general maintenance
nowadays.
kind of stuff, yeah.
Okay, I'm okay, Counselor.
All set?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Item 27. Be engineering.
Good afternoon, councilors. Mary Robison, City Engineer, Department of Engineering. 27, we are updating our street cut ordinance. We're adding a new right-of-way violations fee schedule, and we are revising our right-of-way fee schedule to include a lot more items and update costs. We're also updating miscellaneous language in the ordinance as it's outdated and needs to reflect our current procedures. This is really to improve the condition of a right-of-way after excavation and help preserve the integrity of our infrastructure and hold our contractors accountable for, meeting our standards in the right-of-way. The fee schedules are attached to the letter. We're making some pretty significant changes. So if you want to have a committee meeting to go over the fee schedules, that's fine.
Any questions?
So who's going to enforce this?
Thank you, Councilor
Mary?
Hogan.
Will we, like, if we get a call or something like that, we call you and then, because
we're going to have, it's going to be a combination probably of DPW personnel and engineering
and this
personnel.
will this address Verizon and everybody else?
Yep.
And they're supposed to pull a permit, street cut permit,
Yes.
right?
So they would have if they go out in the right of way and they don't have a permit, they're going to be required to have the permit with them on site. If they haven't gotten a permit, then the violations fine schedule items would be implemented.
Who would tell them that? Police officer or one of our people?
I believe it's going to be one of our people.
Okay. Because, obviously our people do a really good job, but sometimes it's very frustrating to the counselors because then Verizon comes in and ruins the job and all that.
Right.
The street cut. So.
Yep, so it'll be for people not getting the proper permits, violations would be imposed if they're not following the procedure properly. Various things, it's pretty extensive.
Good, excellent.
Mary, do you think you can send us the schedule?
In a bigger font?
Because I'm not even with my glasses, I can't see this.
We're very
Yes.
suspicious, Mary, when we see that small font,
No, we were just trying to get it all on one page. We have it on 11 by 17. I can provide you. That's still a little bit challenging to read for us eye-impaired people,
Magnify that glass out.
including myself.
There was work done on South Salina Street, in front of the Sankofa Cafe, next door, I don't know the street that it's, the corner it is, but it's next door to the old, food co-op.
Okay.
It was a community center. It's no longer, but it's a corner right there. What corner is that? Not Elk, but the next one.
McKinley?
I don't know, maybe McKinley. Well, some work was done through the sidewalks, and there was a ton of concrete left, and it's just left in the grass. It's
Like
been
a
there all
mound
year.
of concrete.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably looks like snow now.
Probably, but just so you know, in the spring, it's been there since last spring. So,
Since last spring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions on item 27? All right. Do you have item 28 as well?
No, that's going to be Eric.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Afternoon, councilors. Eric Ennis, Neighborhood and Business Development. So items number 28 and 20, I'm sorry, hold on, 28 and 29. So these are companion pieces. This is related to the bridge activation project that was included as part of the city's downtown revitalization initiative grant. If you recall, councilors, the improvement would be for the bridge, including lighting, public art, really ways to make that bridge a little bit more inviting and pedestrian friendly, as well as streetscape enhancements as well at Clinton and West Onondaga Street. So previously, the council had approved 2 separate contracts, both involving CNS companies and EDR. And continuing to work with each of those professional firms, the idea would be to actually combine that under one contract for the 2 of them to be able to work together in unison and sync, and actually one would be a subcontractor under the other. But what that does is it requires to rescind the previous ordinance, and so we're just before you asking today for that to take place. As well as there's been an increase in the overall contract amount. Now, this is covered as part of the city's DRI grant award, but there's some additional surveying work that we're asking to be done as part of the scope as well. So our goal would be to continue to enhance and improve the design and continue to work on this for implementation as soon as we're ready to go. Any questions?
Are there trains that still go over that bridge, right?
They do, yes. So
Okay.
the railroad itself, it's still very much a functional railroad, but this would be to improve and again, really just make some exterior and enhancements to overall the bridge, including the area underneath it.
Is that the CNX railroad that goes?
So this company is the New York Susquehanna and Western that they operate the rail there.
Have we approached them for any contributions?
So we Well, we continue to work closely with them. There, in addition to the project that we're talking about today, there is a project separately that the city and the railroad are working together to actually enhance the overall bridge. If you remember when the partial collapse had taken place and there's still Jersey barriers, that is all going to be replaced, and there's a significant project that the engineering department has been a part of. So as part of these enhancements, we're looking to make sure that that's all being dovetailed together to make sure both the bridge itself and the activation project we're talking about are done in complementary fashion.
Counselor, to answer your question, the costs don't go up. It's that 240 that was for ED. Is that EDR?
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be added to,
It's essentially combining the two contracts. Yeah.
Any further questions for these two items? All right, item 30.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Hello again. Item 30 is our annual membership with the CNY Stormwater Coalition, which is managed by the Central New York Regional Planning and Development Board. This is helps us be in compliance with our stormwater permit as an MS4. A new permit was issued in January of 24, so there's a lot more rigorous requirements, and they're helping us get through the new requirements. It's a total cost not to exceed $3,600 for the year. And we're up to year 17.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 31.
30.
Good afternoon, Councilors Owen Kearney, Deputy Commissioner for Planning and Sustainability. 31 and 32 are both planning and sustainability items. 31, my colleague Karina Freeland is going to speak to that one. She is going to project manage that.
Good afternoon, Councilors. Karina Freeland, Sustainability Planner, MBD. Today I'm here to seek permission to enter a contract with CNS to perform a greenhouse gas emissions inventory and create a climate action plan for this city. The Division of Planning and Sustainability was awarded funding from New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to perform this project. The work was advertised through the RFP process in October 2024. We received 5 proposals, and the RFP committee, including Councilor Hogan, Councilor Nave, and Councilor Paniagua, decided to interview one firm, CNS, of whom we would like to award the work. The contract should not exceed $99,896, and the duration of the contract will be from the date of contract execution through October 31st, 2026.
Thank you, Karina. No.
Great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a very complete, comprehensive explanation.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pressure's on, Councilors. Yeah, right. And maybe you can cover the next one, too. Item 32 is permission, requesting permission, authorization with New York State DOT. The city has a monitoring well in the Erie Boulevard median. It's about 4 inches. And this is permission to continue. Basically, we have to have permission from New York State. It costs $100 a year to have that monitoring well. It's a requirement. We're working through with another state agency, the New York State DEC, and so this is essentially authorization to execute that agreement and pay the annual fee to New York State DOT. Any questions? Thank you, Councilors.
Thank you, President Pro Tempore Monson.
Thank you, Council Gathers. I have items 33 through 37. I believe we're still waiting on the appraisals. Is that correct, Commissioner? Yeah.
Councilors, good afternoon. Matt Oj, Commissioner of Assessment. Yes.
Okay.
We are still waiting on 2 appraisals.
Do we have a light at the end of the tunnel?
I think so.
General Westmoreland said?
I've been thinking so on a regular basis since I last told you that. I've been in constant communication with both. I don't know how far into the weeds we want to go. One, we're just waiting for one document for the Eastwood Heights appraisal. He's close to finalizing. He's invoiced us. We're pretty well at the finish line. His analysis is just about complete. Latimer Terrace, we've retained this firm. As you know, I've been here requesting dollars to do that. for a couple pieces of litigation we've got. This is a little farther in the queue than we'd hoped. They're looking to meet a court-ordered deadline by this Friday, the 17th. After that, ours is next up. We've walked to the site, 3-4 weeks ago. Sorry. The appraisal firm we retained for the Latimer Terrace potential acquisition appraisal. The firm that we retained has at least 3 projects with us right now. 2 of them are for litigation. We've got a court-ordered deadline for one of those matters. Deadline is this Friday, so that unfortunately jumped this in the queue. I don't think they anticipated that when they bid on the Latimer job. So
They're getting jammed up with the appraisal because they're doing other stuff for us. Okay.
But my sense is that the meat and potatoes are there. They just need to finalize the report.
Any other questions from my colleagues? Okay.
Your tie is great considering what's happening. So.
I've got a pretty
tie.
sharp colleague who
Great
has
tie.
made that crack today, but thank you. It's not a red tie. We good?
Yes.
Thank you all.
We're good. Thank you, Commissioner. 38. Who's doing 38? This is the We Rise Above, I think, right? Thank you. How you doing, Commissioner?
Well, councilors, good afternoon. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner with the Assessment Department. We are asking for a license agreement with CME Associates to perform geotechnical testing on 3 city-owned properties on Seymour Street and West Onondaga. City will be compensated $250 per parcel per day, that amount not to, sorry, a minimum amount of $750.
So, reading this, Commissioner, the city shall be compensated for the $250 per parcel? It says this?
For providing access to the parcels, yes.
Oh, okay, and now I understand. Thank you. Okay, any questions? Okay, hearing none, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
39, 40, and 39 and 40 special permits, we got Mr. Dishaw.
Good afternoon, Council. Jake Dishaw, Deputy Commissioner of Code Enforcement and Zoning Administration. Item number 39 is a new special use permit. This is the old Wilson Farms on James Street. They're expanding their cooking facilities, essentially going to do hot food, so it triggered a new special use permit.
This is another Middle Eastern restaurant, I think, going into this place, correct?
No, this is
It isn't? Okay, this is a different one there, Jimmy?
Convenience store on the end of my street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good, okay.
Item number 40, this is a new special use permit to approve mini storage facility at 639 East Seneca Turnpike, so the top of Seneca Turnpike in Brighton.
Jake, I did request the possibility of receiving some type of rendering with both of the proposed designs. And I don't know, was there a traffic study for this addition as well?
So there was not, there was a traffic impact study done, but there's not a full-blown traffic study. There's minimal, we can send you all this too. There's minimal traffic expected from mini storage facility.
Well,
think
this
about
one, they said it was more like for a business type.
I'm not understanding. What's the question? You're saying it's?
They said in the BZA meeting that this was for more of a business, where it would be more for businesses versus residential. So that's why I wanted to know, like, if businesses are coming and going with different trucks, just
Sure.
so we can get all that information. But
Yeah, a quick summary, and I'll send you the details and you can review it, but our review of this is that there'd be minimal to no additional traffic burden on top of the traffic study that was done for the car wash. With this, just minimal expectation of traffic, but we can send you all those details and the renderings.
Okay.
How many units do they have there, Jake?
That's a good question. Don't know if I have that here. I can get that to you too.
You're okay. Counselor, you okay with that? With this?
Well, I mean, I
Opinion forward?
probably would want to hold off with the possibility of a committee meeting, but if he gets the items that was requested prior to Monday, maybe we'll
So
see
it's
that.
already with a question mark. We'll put it
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Jake, did you get any litigation on this?
Nope.
All right. Something was mailed to my office. I'll bring it to the attention afterwards. We can talk more about it.
Yeah, the only thing I can add on that topic quickly, Clerk, is that there were some private civil dispute matters, but everything we worked towards, we had no reason to withhold the application that went to Planning Commission that is now before you for a private civil dispute between the property.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. I shared it with Law, so we can go from there.
Okay.
From their recommendation.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. And 41, I'm reappointing Mr. Pratt to the Citizen Review Board.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Williams.
So Hogan, we have items 42 through 53 under finance today. 42 will be held. Items 43 and 44 are companion pieces. 43 is a budget transfer from the fire retirement over to a special audit. 44 is a comprehensive audit of our IT systems. We've discussed this. Anything additional? No. Moving on to item 45.
Good afternoon, councilors. We are asking to amend ordinance 974 of 2024. I think I was before you probably 2 sessions ago. This is a reversal of a sidewalk charge, amending the roll to reflect a sidewalk exemption that should have been on the roll for a newly constructed sidewalk on Burnett Avenue. There's a typographical error in the appendix to that ordinance. We are looking to correct it to reflect the appropriate charge, and that will ideally settle that matter.
And we're going to work on that other issue as far as with the amendment we made to the sidewalk legislation, right?
We have discussed internally. We've got a new COO who I think is going to be learning some things about the sidewalk exemption program, and yes, we're working toward that resolution.
Yeah, because we want to probably promote that a little bit so folks know that they can qualify for the exemption.
It's complicated, but yes, I understand.
Life is complicated, Commissioner.
So I learned.
Okay, thank you.
46 is mine also. We are looking to amend ordinance 207 of 2023. This was the initial authorization for our lease on the first and seventh floors of 300 South State Street, One Park Place, where we relocated just about everybody from City Hall Commons a year and a half ago. You know, as we've lived in the space, we've discovered that, you know, the space could use some modifications. There are a couple tenants who have outgrown spaces, so we're looking to shift a couple of people on the floor. This necessitates construction of a couple of walls, removal of a wall. The landlord's contractor, who has done every bit of work so far and done it really more than satisfactorily, will be doing the work. We're requesting some money to do that. We'd like to modify the lease to do so.
I've got something related but unrelated. In the licensing audit, there was a commitment by the administration to improve wayfinding and signage to the Central Permit Office. Has there been any update in that?
It was my desire.
I know, you know, myself, when I walk over there, I kind of look around and I don't really know where I'm going, and so I feel like for a citizen to be approaching One Park Place.
I think it's tremendous space to work. I recognize that it seems like a bit of a labyrinth for those who aren't familiar with the space. It was my desire to bring 2 of these modifications under the same cover. We've had a little bit of misalignment there, but I expect to be before you in 2 weeks, or better yet, Deputy Commissioner Ennis will be before you in 2 weeks to get that last bit buttoned up. And then I think we can truly say we are finished with the new space.
And signage?
No, I'm sorry, that is the signage.
Oh,
that
okay,
is
gotcha.
the last item.
Talked over my head there.
Yeah,
I was
do
blinded
that
by the
sometimes.
orange and blue. Thank you.
Thank you all.
And on that point, like the origins of the coronavirus are exactly the kind of thing I'm thinking about. That when it was first suggested that it was a lab leak, the left-wing media kind of dismissed that as not
May I?
Yes, item 47.
Councilors, the city's had a relationship with We Rise Above the Streets Recovery Outreach. We've been licensing Alamin Mohammed space on Saturdays to have his Sandwich Saturdays events each Saturday for the past 6 months. We're looking to extend that agreement through the end of June, so he and his organization can continue to provide food to food insecure families in the area. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Item 48.
Thank you, Councilor. Kerry Quaglia, CEO of Home Headquarters. And we are looking to contract for the Homebuyer Assistance Program that was in the city budget. And we'd like to have a contract for that. I don't think it's any secret that we are building and renovating homes for owner-occupants in record numbers. And I think the council understands that these first-time home buyers need all the support that they can get. To give you an example of that, Home Headquarters is a member of the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, and we secured over $300,000 in what they call their Homebuyer Dream program. And we have exhausted all of that funding. So obviously these funds would be able to support those first-time home buyers in down payment and closing cost assistance, in buy downs. But we also, sometimes you have to assist owner-occupants in different ways, particularly as we're building new homes. We often run into a foundation from an old home where it might cost an extra $5,000 to get that new home built. As Councilor Hogan knows, sometimes you run into an underground gas tank that might cost about $30,000 to replace or to remove. And certainly you can't pass that along. So we really enjoy the flexibility of this fund to try to keep those costs down for first-time home buyers. And I would certainly hope that the council would consider this in the future as well, because we expect to continue to build unprecedented numbers of homes for owner-occupants. Any questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Kerry, because
What's that?
we've seen firsthand what you do to rehabilitate, which we saw on Maplehurst Ave.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
I believe items 49, 50, 51 will be discussed in executive session. Moving on to 52.
Good afternoon, councilors. Michael Canizero, Commissioner of Finance. Apologies for the cell phone. It was a packed house today and we ran out of paper. Number 52 is authorizing the reduction of a water bill for property at 128 Bellevue. This is also known as the Southwest Community Farm. So I think the billing period in question, it's like October-ish. Historically, this property's billed, what is the difference here? About $67 to $70. They were billed $5,500, $5,600 upon further investigation, and this was working with Commissioner Brandt at the Water Department and their staff. There was a leak, and that's what was discovered, that it resulted in the high water use reading. So we're looking to reduce the amount of that billing to a historical average, as we don't want to burden this property with that bill due to the leak. Any questions?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Great, thank you.
And item 53 is to appoint Joshua Carroll to the CRB from the 3rd District.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Hogan.
Thank you. Councilor Jones-Rouser.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Have items 54 through 61.
Good afternoon, Council. Jake Dishaw again, Deputy Commissioner of Code Enforcement and Zoning Administration. Item number 54 is seeking permission to contract with 6 third-party plan review vendors. So these are a combination of engineering firms, architectural firms, to assist in our capacity doing building permit code review. Something that we've been focusing on to try to increase our efficiencies and help development citywide.
Jake, before you go any farther, can you just provide a letter with that information? Because I mean, I really didn't look at it. I really got to apologize to the council that I didn't really look at the letter to ask for some more detailed information in it. And so can you just provide me another letter so I can provide to law and you just won't be speaking,
Yep. I'll note this was RFQ process that we undertook to do this. We do expect that we will add more firms to this. We'll take, if you're qualified to do this work, we'll add you to our list so we can have as many options as possible. But I'll connect with you, clerk, after this and make sure we get you the appropriate letter.
Send me the RFP and revise the letter and include the details in the letter so the council can be aware of it, and also law can understand exactly what they're writing the legislation for.
Sure.
Okay.
Understood.
And Jake, how much work does the $150,000 get us?
It's hard to say. This isn't to replace what city staff is doing. This is just to add some capacity. We also are working on options for developers and applicants that would like to kind of go in a faster lane or an expedited kind of lane, that they could contract with these people individually, like they pay for it, which wouldn't even need any approval from you all. That, as long as they're meeting the state requirements to do the code review and they have the qualifications. So we're trying to open up multiple lanes for people to go through, whether it's, they go through our standard kind of timeline of review, and we'll continue to use what money we can from the budget to adopt this, and we'll look to probably expand this going into next budget year. But it's multiple, I would say dozens of commercial building permit projects, just to give you a general answer, but it really depends on the size of the project, how many revisions are needed from the design professionals, and so on.
Is it a capacity issue with your staff, or is it expertise and specialty, or where does the breakdown
It's a
go?
combination. I would say the main thing is definitely capacity, but this is a very, very professional and technical role. Obviously, if we're contracting with, professional engineers and registered architects to help do this work, it kind of shows. I don't have to mention some of the incidents that we're seeing in our community. Like this is important stuff that needs to be reviewed for life safety, and so both, I guess, to answer your question. I will speak to the council had given some extra positions to find plan reviewers. We've struggled to find them. So this is kind of our next plan or option, is to find third-party vendors that can support this work for us. Pay for some of that to bolster our internal capacity, and if developers, applicants want more expedited services on top of that, they can contract with these firms individually to get those plans reviewed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll connect with you. Thanks.
Perfect.
Good afternoon, councilors. Kimone Jordan, Director of Housing and Neighborhood Planning. So items 55 through 61 are requests to have these properties transferred to the Greater Syracuse Land Bank once the foreclosure process is complete. There is one property that I'd like to remove, item number 58 at 447-449 West Lafayette Ave. So the property owner has submitted a tax trust, and the finance department has sent over a quote. We're just waiting on them to confirm and do the down payment.
Okay. And there has been some communications with a few other property individuals?
No luck with any other property owners on this list.
No, there has been. Well,
you're
they're
saying
waiting
there has
for
been.
more, not with communications through you guys, through council.
Okay.
So we'll know Monday what we'll be moving forward.
Okay.
Okay.
I do ask that when counselors are able to make contact with constituents, you let neighborhood and business development know, just so that we can have a record in our system. And then we can let the finance department know as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, counselors.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Kamal. Okay, you finished, Counselor?
No, that's it, yes.
Yeah, that's
Thank
it.
you.
Counselor Manto.
Thanks, Councilor. We'll continue to hold item 62.
Okay. Okay, motion adjourned. Second, okay.